Hey summoners, it's your jungle expert Flaress back yet again, and it has been far too long since our last Clash Comps rundown, and the meta has definitely shifted over the last couple of months. Now, this ain't no democracy, as any good coach rules with an iron fist, so try out these 6 new Clash Comps and smash the competition or else. Or else what? Exactly. Now, before I start, you should keep in mind a few things. If any of these picks got picked or banned away from you, consider picking up our recommended alternative picks that should round out the comp similarly to what was taken away. And finally, the draft doesn't usually go the same way every time, and especially doesn't compare to what you see in LCK, LPL, LEC, or LCS. So taking things earlier or later really depends on who you're facing and can be decided on during your scouting phase. Okay, finally we can hustle on over to our first team comp. Starting off, we have a well-rounded teamfight comp that utilizes the strength of the solo laners early and falls back onto a strong scaling AD carry as a contingency plan. Can you just picture a fed Aatrox getting reset after reset with a black shield and a Yuumi attached to him? Surely you remember the ease of execution of the Talia Pantheon combo that was popularized not too long ago? Well, if you take that one step further, you got Morgana jungle subbing in for Tal. Morg's definitely going to throw a wrench into your opponent's draft strategies, as she can be fixed mid, in support, and if you're unsure of how to play her in the jungle, I conveniently made a video covering it not too long ago. Cough cough. Look to use the priority and kill pressure from the mid-jungle duo to impact and snowball your top and bot lanes. Morg can negate crowd control from her black shield and enable the team to go ham. Ezreal and Yuumi have a safe yet strong laning phase that ascends way past god tier of brokenness, and you have Aatrox who's going to pump out loads of damage and be unkillable thanks to the 2 supports on your team. Your win condition for this comp is to play around your mid and top side early, while your bot lane looks to play it cool and scale. It's alright to forfeit the first dragon if it means you secure Rift Herald for your mid or top side for platings. Use the lead from top and mid to bring your bot lane up to speed while you force the team fights around neutral objectives. Alrighty, moving on to comp number 2, we have amazing scaling lockdown comp that remains strong in the early and mid game. A -10 movement speed nerf is honestly not going to put the nail in the coffin with Karthus jungle. Your clear is still going to be exceptional, and when you have the likes of Lissandra and Maokai to root your targets for free Qs, it's a night time. Lissandra got a nice buff to her wave clear, which will help her have more favorable roam timers and priority in lane to assist Karthus for scuttles and neutral objectives. In the bot lane, you have Fasting Senna paired with a Maokai who has great counter to the many melee champions in the game at the moment. And does Garen really need an explanation? Press Q, spin to win, yell Demacia, make the enemy top laner rage in all chat, easy peasy. It's really important to not allow your Karthus to be invaded with this comp. As long as your team can collapse when needed on time, you're pretty much set for the game. You've got a great lockdown from your Maokai and Lissandra for your Karthus and Senna to dish out plenty of damage while also having good tankiness from your Garen and Maokai. Just play safe and scale and fight on item spikes or when Karthus ult is available. So pretty much if you don't hiccup in the early game or go even at 15 minutes, you've won. Moving on over to comp number 3, we have a standard front-to-back teamfighting comp. Despite Trundle getting a slight nerf, he's still excellent for countering the many melee picks in the current meta. You'll be able to set up great ganks from your pillar and allow your set to have an easier time to feed your foes a couple of knuckle sandwiches. And Xayah isn't the best AD carry in the game alone, but when slotted into a team play and paired with Rakin, she's easily on par with god tier. The lovers duo early power and priority are great. And you'll have an Azir to scale up and add even more obstacles for your opponents to deal with thanks to his Emperor's Divide. For the win con, again, you're going to want to play out the first 10 minutes through mid and top side. As long as you secure Rift Herald for tower plating gold, it's okay to lose out on the first dragon. After the first 10 minutes, if your team properly sets up your mid and top to succeed, then refocus on your bot laners and be sure to pummel your opponents with 4-man ganks. Afterward, you should be in a great position to control the flow of the game through pressuring Drakes for the Dragon Soul, Rift Heralds, and Barons. Next up for comp number 4, we got ourselves a Wombo Combo teamfight comp. It's always hard to not put some iteration of the ball delivery wombo combo in these types of videos. It's a tried and true old reliable teamfight comp that never ceases to stay strong in these structured kinds of matches. Add the extra tankiness and peeling that you get from Maokai, as well as the sheer utility that Lulu brings to the table to not only protect her carries, but to layer on top of the wombo combo to keep J4 alive. The Virus brings a little extra added bonus thanks to his ultimate, but please be sure to build him on hit and not the lethality build that's been more popular recently. Otherwise, you're going to lack a lot more consistent damage in teamfights. The win con for this comp is sink or swim when it comes to your bot lane. You need to play mid bot side with this comp, and remember, you have a Maokai when he groups for teamfights. If you can make it to Blade of the Rune King and Rage Blade on Varus, everything else will just fall into place. Alright, moving on to comp number 5, we have champs who like to do one thing: be in your face and be annoying. Okay, yes, that's technically 2 things, but shut up and don't question your coach. With this comp, you've got a decent engagement and disengage and really peak in the mid game. With this comp, you're going to be wanting to play very risky by diving your opponents. This should be made very easy thanks to the long range engage from Ornn and survivability from Tariq's ultimate. Your 280 carries are primed and ready, as well as great damage to round out the comp. Your win con for this comp is definitely relying on your team's coordination to pull the trigger on engaging fights, and not just every fight you see, but the right ones. It's important to play around item spikes and play the neutral objectives game to sway the tempo of the game in your favor. By doing this, you can easily dive towers with ease since you'll likely have the item advantage. Speaking of item advantages, you have an Ornn upgrade available to boost your late game power. If you can stay afloat for about 15 minutes of the game and really drive the nail in the coffin in the mid game, this comp will do you wonders. Just be sure to close out the game around 30 minutes, otherwise you might be outscaled by certain teams. Alrighty, for our last and final comp, we have so many synergies and it's the multi-wombo combo teamfight comp. I originally only wanted to do a 5 team comps for this video, but honestly, I like to throw in my evil concoctions that are just way too broken and will certainly get you all the way to the championships. You got the knock-up synergy with the Wukong and Yasuo, the AoE monstrosity that is Fiddlesticks that covers your AP damage, and MF Leona which adds some crowd control and wombo ability, yes I just made that word up, which makes this comp quite frightening. This comp is honestly pretty foolproof if you just don't feed early. The insane scaling and damage output this comp pumps out is surely an SFW. It's hard to put a timer on this comp when it really activates, but when most of your team, except for your support, is all on the 2-item power spike, generally you're golden from here on out. Force neutral objectives until you eventually get the Dragon Soul or a Baron, and be sure to play off Fiddle ultimates to capitalize off his fears. Well, that's it for this iteration of Clash comps, and I personally really love to make these kinds of videos since I'm also a collegiate league coach. Let me know down below in the comments what you think or what your team plans on running for this Clash weekend. Also, be sure to check out Mobalytics.gg, or if you just want to stick around and have even more informational content, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel where we consistently dish out quality, informative content to give you the best edge possible in your ranked games. As always, have a wonderful rest of your day, be safe out there, and see you in the next one, Summoners.